It's time for the Splash Live from Civic Center TV, featuring stories from and about people like you in the greater West Bloomfield area. Simulcast on cable, 89.3 Lakes FM, social media, and the web. Now live from Green Media Center on Walnut Lake Road, it's the Splash Live.
Live, local, social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm your host, Jake Schaap, going over all of the biggest news and events from right here in greater West Bloomfield. Now, Veterans Day was yesterday, but there's still plenty of time throughout the week to honor the work that the veterans have done to serve our country and our community. In place of the traditional Veterans Coffee event that usually takes place every month, a special dinner will instead be taking place at Gino's Pizzeria tomorrow, Wednesday, November 13th at 5:30 p.m. All veterans, regardless of city of residence, are warmly welcome to this event and will be treated to great food and great conversations with other veterans. Please RSVP as there will be a table reserved for this special group. The phone number to reserve this group is 248-797-6730. One more time, that is 248-797-6730. So lots of great spots available and a great time for everyone to have at Gino's Pizzeria on Wednesday. There's going to be a late start for the West Bloomfield School District this week. Buses will be running an hour later tomorrow morning, but students will still be dismissed at their regular time. And a heads-up reminder, according to the West Bloomfield School District's 2024 and 2025 school year calendar, there are plenty of other changes that you can check out on their website at wbsd.org/calendar. This is a great way for parents to be up to date with their school schedule and to maybe have some time to adjust their own schedules on the off chance that kids might be staying home or you might need to drop your kids off somewhere else if you're going to be going to work. So make sure you go to wbsd.org/calendar to get those updates. A recent competition combined Lego building with undersea exploring. On Saturday, November 9th, 3 teams composed of 4th and 5th graders from the 4 West Bloomfield elementary schools went to compete at the first Lego League Challenge qualifying tournament at Troy High School. During the competition, first Lego League teams had to use creative thinking and Lego technology to explore the layers of the ocean and bring their learnings and ideas to the surface as they see into the future. This sounds like so much fun. They learned to code a robot to be able to complete missions and to come up with a solution to a problem faced by people who explore the oceans. The Goofy Gators team came in 7th place out of the 31 teams there. The Bubble Baguettes team coach Alona Williams earned the Coaches Award, and Team America earned the Core Values Award. So a lot of big things to celebrate with each of the teams. Big congratulations to all of them. And congratulations as well to the coaches and mentors for this amazing season. The 2 trophies earned will tour the elementary schools and will end up being housed at West Bloomfield Middle School. You just saw the photos on the screen if you're watching on civiccentertv.com. But if you want to see them for yourself, you can check them out on the West Bloomfield School District's Facebook page, West Bloomfield Schools, to see all the fun and all the action for yourself. A chance to help local people in need ahead of the holidays by donating to the Diabetic Food Pantry. Spirit of Grace Church in West Bloomfield is calling for donations to support their Diabetic Food Pantry and Blessing Box. The church is always in need of non-perishable foods, especially peanut butter, soups, pasta, and canned vegetables, and donations help provide nutritious options for those managing diabetes in the community. You can learn more by visiting their website at spiritofgrace.church and checking out their Facebook page or calling them at 248-338-3505. And they are located at 2399 Figa Avenue. Every contribution makes a big difference for local families in need. So that's all the information, and there's all the ways that you can help out all those families and give them what you got. And recently, some local West Bloomfield residents had a great opportunity to take one of their favorite games for a spin. literally, as Elisa Burke and Jenny Bordelov, who are lifelong Wheel of Fortune fans, recently had the opportunity to appear on the show themselves, ultimately walking away with $2,000 and an incredible spa trip to St. Martin. And here to tell us more about this once-in-a-lifetime experience, we have the players themselves, Jenny Bordelov and Elisa Burke. Thank you both so much for joining us today.
Hi, thanks for having us.
Really
happy
to have you with us too, and really excited to hear about this because I've watched Wheel of Fortune for years. Really excited to hear about your experience. What was it like getting to compete on this show after being fans for so long?
It was super fun. It was way different to be in studio than it is in your family room, but we had a spectacular day and memories for a lifetime.
Awesome. That's great. I would imagine it'd be a lot trickier to play the game once you're in the studio than you are sitting at home, because at home you don't have to deal with spinning the wheel, you don't have to deal with the bankrupts or the lose-a-turns. But no, I'd imagine it was.
It is so much easier in your kitchen or in your family room. Elise and I know every puzzle when we're sitting at home by ourselves. When you're there, besides being nervous, the wheel is very heavy to spin, by the way. And yeah, the luck was not on our side with the wheel. I got a couple bankrupts and a lose a turn. And a lot of times we knew the puzzles and it wasn't our turn yet. So it's a whole different game when you're actually there in the studio.
I'd imagine so. I mean, it's definitely one of those shows I've always imagined playing myself and getting that opportunity one day. What was it like having to see yourself on this show and having to keep it a secret for 4 months?
It was hard.
It was a challenge. We had so many people asking us all the time, just tell us. We won't tell anybody.
And people were tricky, trying to get answers out of us all different ways that they could. They'd say, well, how was it in the bonus round? And did you get to meet Ryan after your big winning? Like, they would try any angle with us. Like, are you getting a new car soon? Are you going on any vacation soon? It was super, super hard. We didn't even tell our parents.
Wow, people are sneaky trying to get that information. But what was it like
sneaky.
But what was it like for your family to finally see you guys on TV and to see your run?
Oh, they were shocked. They thought from the way we were talking that we hadn't won anything. We were going to go home empty-handed. But we had a big watch party, and they were pleasantly surprised.
That's great, and that's great that they got to see that and that they experienced all of this vicariously through the both of you.
Our immediate family got to come with us to California, so all our kids knew, all our kids watched, so our kids had to keep the secret as well. And they were good. They were good. You couldn't get a thing out of them.
For those just joining us on the Splash Live, we have Elisa Burke and Jenny Bordelov, West Bloomfield residents who just appeared on Wheel of Fortune and took home over $10,000 in cash and prizes, including a spa trip to St. Martin's. How does it feel to be walking away with these prizes and this incredible trip?
It's super exciting. We're trying to plan our trip right now. We couldn't plan until it aired. So we're just going back and forth with certain dates, and we're hoping to go to St. Martin in April.
And when we were actually on the show, we didn't solve a puzzle. The first 3 puzzles came and went, and we did not solve a thing. So by the time we solved our puzzle, we were so excited that we won this trip, and we were so excited to finally solve a puzzle. So it made it even more exciting.
I'd imagine so. And that's great that you won one of the biggest ones of the night. You won the prize puzzle, so that's perfect.
Yeah.
That was our goal, to win the prize puzzle.
That was our goal, right.
So as lifelong West Bloomfield residents, do you feel the community has been supportive in celebrating your Wheel of Fortune experience?
Absolutely. So many people stop us and congratulate us, and people we haven't seen in a long time. It's like, oh my God, I saw you on Wheel of Fortune, and just the interviews. I ran into somebody at the market that said, I've seen you somewhere. Have you been on the news, or do you work for the news? And I think they must have seen me on Wheel of Fortune.
I agree with Elisa. The support has been so amazing. We had over 100 people at our watch party. Everyone was just truly so excited about it. You see people wherever you go, and people are like, "We watched you on the wheel." I just got back from a trip yesterday, and people on the airplane even were like, "We saw you." I knew that, but they're like, "We saw you on the wheel." People have been so great. Where Elisa works, where I work, everybody's been so excited for us.
That's great. And you did just mention it. You did have a big watch party at the Edgewood Country Club, and a lot of people saw your big moment right there.
Yes. We had to go
so
back
fun.
and watch it after because it was so loud. We wanted to hear us and rewatch it. So we went back to Jenny's house after, and we had our own private watch party as well.
Right, but the watch party was so fun because, as we said before, we got a few bankrupts and lose a turn. So, every time we've been a bankrupt, the crowd would, like moan, and then we finally won, and the crowd, exploded with the plot. It was really fun being in that moment with everybody.
That's so amazing. I'm glad you guys had such a great time. And what
We
is
felt
this?
the love.
What has this experience meant for your friendship?
I think it's just like a experience you can't even imagine. Like, this will always be like such a memory for us. Every step of the way, we'd be like, "Oh my God, what if we made it to the next round? What if we made it to the next round? What if we actually got onto the show?" So sometimes we look back and think about it, and we're like, did that really happen? It's all been so surreal. We both feel so lucky that we were able to have this memory with each other and this experience with each other, right, Elisa?
Yes, and we've celebrated so many milestones together. We've been friends since we were 5. Our families are close. Our kids are now close, and we've done so many things together. So this is just one more memory that we've made.
Oh, I love to hear that.
This probably tops it all, though.
That's right.
Okay, I got one more question for the two of you before we let you go. If given the chance to
I knew you were going to ask that.
Of course. If given the chance to compete on Wheel of Fortune again, what would you do differently, or would you keep the approach the same?
We definitely would change a few things. We would take turns spinning the wheel and guessing the letters, and maybe we would be a little bit more calm just because we know what it involves now.
Yeah, we'd hope that our nerves wouldn't get the best of us. Right.
But we did it. We had a great time. It was a fabulous experience, and we still laugh about it.
I'm glad you had a great time, and I'm glad you get to experience these memories for many, many years to come. Elisa, Jenny, thank you both so much for your time today.
Thanks for having us.
They're going to be watching that episode back so many times. They're going to be reliving this experience, and it's great that they got to share it together with their best friend. Once again, big congratulations to Jenny and Elisa for their success on the show, and I really do hope that they enjoy that incredible spa trip to St. Martin. West Bloomfield has recently been integrating technology into learning in some very unique ways. The Lou Interactive Playground is a high-tech fitness space designed for children and young adults using advanced technology to promote physical activity. And that has been utilized in some gym classes throughout the school district, which has already led to some incredible results. And here to tell us more about the Lou Playground and the Lou Gym, we have the gym teacher for Scotch Elementary, Nick Rotter, joining us on The Splash today. Nick, glad to have you with us.
Good, how are you?
Really good, and really interested to hear about this great thing, the Lou Interactive Playground. How has that changed the way that you approach physical education at Scotch?
Well, being able to incorporate this new technology into the PE space has just been able to kind of interact with more students and kind of get them more engaged into being active and living that active lifestyle.
Oh, that's great. And just hearing about this, it sounds like one of those things I wish I had when I was a kid, because that would make gym class so much fun and so engaging for everybody. What are some of the most popular games or activities with the Lou Playground that you guys do, and what makes the students drawn to them?
So the kids absolutely love this new system that we have. It brings a different approach into the PE space. It's been very hard to incorporate technology, but now with using this, the kids don't view it as physical activity. They're viewing it in a fun way, and they're looking at it from a different perspective. Um, some of the more popular games are targets. There's a Candy Crush type game and stuff like that that the kids are able to use. And the technology's adapting every single day. They're adding new games, and we're able to connect with students at a better level. Those kids that might not be drawn to PE are now being more engaged in the classroom atmosphere, and they're willing to participate and go above and beyond and trying to improve their physical activity.
Yeah, and all of that is great as it's helping to get these kids more and more active. And I want to go into a little bit on something you just said, on how this technology is helping to engage students who don't typically enjoy traditional PE activities. What have you seen from some of those kids?
All the students have loved this so far. They come in every day and they ask if they can use the loo every single day, which is not possible, but the kids who typically might not enjoy the traditional PE aspect, they view it more as kind of a video game that they get to play, and they're immersed in the video game itself. They're throwing a ball, interacting with the target, or interacting with the different aspects of the wall or whatever activity that we put up. And the kids have all been super engaged and wanting to go and give their best and play and have fun with the ball.
Nick, I think that's how you know that you're doing something right, is when the kids keep saying that they can't get enough of something. That's when you know that something is sticking and something is working. Can you share an example on how the Lou Playground promotes teamwork and collaboration with the students?
So with the Lou, most of the games are team games and stuff like that. So the kids are broken up into teams, and they're competing with each other and helping each other out. Where there's different games. There's a math game on there, for instance, where the equation will be put up and they have to throw the ball at the correct solution, which really helps incorporate that cross-curricular activities. But if a student goes up there and they don't necessarily know that answer, they have their teammates back there behind them that are helping them out, screaming out the answers for them. And it can get a little chaotic at times. We have to bring stuff back in. But the kids all are willing to help each other. They're wanting to help each other. They're getting competitive with it, which is great. But they've all been very good sports with it, and they understand the sportsmanship aspect of it, where yes, you may win or you may lose, but you're still going to be a good sport with stuff, encourage each other, and help each other out with it.
That's amazing. Great to hear these kids are rallying around each other and supporting each other through these activities. For those just joining us on the Splash Live, Nick Rotter, the PE teacher for Scotch Elementary, is joining us right now to talk about the new Lou Interactive Playground that has been making a big impact with the school district. And Nick, I want to talk a little bit more about how the playground is using interactive technology support to help support cognitive development along with physical fitness. Could you explain that a little bit?
Yeah, well, they're using it. They're not just using their physical ability and using physical fitness and stuff like that. They're having to think about stuff, whether we have the math equation up, the math game going, or other games like that. There's a Candy Crush games where the students have to understand what piece to remove in order to get the pieces in order to score points for their team. So they're actually having to dive in cognitively and think about different things that are going on in the games itself, rather than just going in and running around or stuff like that.
That's right. It's important to keep aware of multiple things at once and to exercise your mind just as much as you should exercise your body. Now, Nick, how have you seen the students' attitudes towards fitness and exercise evolve since introducing this new space?
Yeah, like we talked about before a little bit, all the kids are super engaged with it and wanting to participate with it and use the new technology that we have. And I've seen a positive shift in the kids' attitude towards being physically fit and being physically active in class. Getting kids moving and active is my number one priority. And using this technology is another way that we can reach out and gain the attention of some of the students who, like we talked about, aren't typically enjoying traditional PE. This might kind of pique their interest more, and they're more receptive to being physically active and physically fit.
Good. That's always great to hear. Nick, before we let you go, one more quick question. Looking ahead, what impact do you think technology like this ultimately has on the future of physical education for the next generations?
I think it has a big impact. Anytime you can incorporate technology, where you live in the technology era right now where everything's ever changing and ever evolving, and if you're not evolving, you're going to get left behind. So I think incorporating this technology into our classes every day and being able to utilize different advances like this is very important to promote a healthy lifestyle and an active lifestyle for the kids going forward.
Great, and that's great, all of the work that you do to help get these kids inspired. Nick Rotter, the PE teacher for Scotch Elementary, we thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you very much for having me.
I wanted this gym when I was in school. Like, that would make gym class so much more fun, and you could learn something along the way. So I think that this is a great addition to the curriculum, and it's really, really cool that teachers like Nick and all the other teachers throughout the school district are implementing these new and unique ways of learning. So really happy to have Nick on the show today, and really interested in hearing about all of the great things this Lou Gym has to offer. But plenty of other great stories and great topics to get into right after the break. Live, local, social, it's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live.
Good nutrition can help make sure you have enough iron, calcium, and vitamin C in your body, which can make it harder for lead to enter your bloodstream. Help protect your family from the harmful effects of lead.
I'm Gina Gregory, president of the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society. I'm excited that Civic Center TV has reached 1 million views on YouTube. Congratulations. That's just terrific. We appreciate everything Civic Center does for the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society and the community. For us, they promote and highlight our events. It's awesome to have them available 24/7 on YouTube. I'm Gina Gregory and proud to be one in a million.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
You gotta stop with that depression stuff. That's what white people think.
You alright? It just feels like it's coming from everywhere. Do you want to talk about it?
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad.
Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
And now, back to The Splash Live.
Live, local, social, it's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm your host, Jake Schaff, going over all of the biggest news and topics from right here in Greater West Bloomfield. Now, the holiday season is quickly approaching, which means it's time to be hearing those jingle bells and starting to prep for Christmas, Hanukkah, and all of the other great winter holidays. And a lot of those feelings are coming right to West Bloomfield with their Not So White Elephant holiday party, which is coming up on December 3rd this year. And here to tell us more about this event, we have the executive director with the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce, Suzanne Levine, joining us on The Splash. Suzanne, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Really happy to have you with us and really interested in hearing about this holiday party. How great is it that, because this is the 9th year that this party has been going on, is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. 9 years ago, I decided that although we are a small nonprofit, that there should be a way that we can give back to the community. So for 9 years, we have been looking and scouting for smaller independent nonprofits that could benefit from having a party in their favor. And so we're so excited. It's a great event. And the reason it's a not so white elephant, a white elephant party, usually you bring a wrapped gift and people can exchange them. This one, we bring a gift and we sell raffle items, and then people can pick a gift and all the money goes directly to the charity. So it's such a great way to celebrate the holiday season. And we're so fortunate that Aurora Italian Restaurant is sponsoring this also. They do a great job for us. So it's just a win-win for everybody during this holiday season when we really need to give back to the community.
Interesting. And you're absolutely right. It is always a great time to give back. I loved hearing about the rules of this because we play White Elephant at our Christmas party every single year. So it's interesting the way you guys are doing it. But how great is it that the holiday season and this party are coming around again for this year?
It's just such a great opportunity for not only to network and party with our chamber members in the community, but also give back to a very worthwhile charity, Sandcastles Grief Support, Henry Ford Sandcastles Grief and Support for families and children and families. And it's really, we know there are a lot of people during this holiday season that, it's a very difficult time for them because maybe they've lost someone they love. Maybe their pocketbook is not as full as they want it to be. So it's just a great way to celebrate all of us, and we made it, and looking forward to 2025. And every year it's another interesting charity that most people don't even know exists. We know about the larger ones, but these are smaller ones that people have no idea. And so it's a great way to introduce the community to different ways to give back, whether they volunteer or they give, through their wallet.
You're absolutely right. And it's great that you guys are doing all of this great work with these local charities. I do want to talk a little bit more about Henry Ford Sandcastles. How did that relationship come to be, and what has it been like to really help highlight and promote these other great charities?
Well, Henry Ford West Bloomfield Hospital is one of our biggest sponsors, and the grief support contacted me. They wanted to join the chamber. So they've been very active because we know that the best way for people to get to know your business, your organization, is to attend meetings. And so that's why networking is so important. I do not believe you will ever be able to replace that one-on-one connection. You can send out flyers and e-blasts. You can do all of that as an adjunct, but I really believe the most important thing is for people to get to know you, and you are the best, representative of your business, and let people know what you do and how worthwhile it is and how you can hopefully change a life. I mean, these are children that really need support, and the families. They've gone through some devastating loss. And we know that sometimes it takes a long time to even stop feeling this very acute pain. I know for me too, I've lost my parents. It's been a long time, but you never really get over it. It's just that the pain dulls a little bit. And so to have support of other people that have gone through similar situations and hear their stories and know that there is this great organization that supports, people that are grieving, it's, we all need someone to be able to lean on, to talk to listen, to validate our feelings. So that's why I'm so excited to partner with them this year.
Suzanne Levine with the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce is joining us on the Splash Live today to talk about the upcoming Not So White Elephant holiday party and the work that the Commerce is doing with local charities to benefit the community. And Suzanne, I want to go into a little more about the community side of things. How has the community come out to support this event? And what have you seen from the community during parties like these?
It is so amazing because the community, first of all, wants to network during this holiday season and connect. But what has been great, like, for example, last year we did the Gary Bernstein Health Clinic that most people are totally unaware of. It's a free health clinic where they offer free medical, dental, some pharmaceutical aid also. And what's great is if a person can't even drive there, they will make sure that they can pay for an Uber So people didn't know about this organization, and we raised a lot of money for them. But for them, it was even more important to get the community invested, to know that maybe they're too embarrassed to say that they can't afford medical or dental health. Well, here's an organization that donates their services for free. They have U of M dental students that are on the premises, and they have doctors. It's such an amazing organization, and most of the community was unaware of it. So I think that's the most important thing, is letting the community be aware of these smaller organizations that might not have the resources to let everyone know what they're about and how they are there to serve the community. Of course, there's so many worthwhile charities. I mean, I could have probably an event every single day to benefit someone, but, I'm trying to pick ones that are lesser well known, to give them the exposure and hopefully get volunteers or much needed, money, because we know when the economy is not great, people tend to hold back because they're the ones that are in need. But even if people can only just give $1, I think that's an amazing thing. Just make sure that we support our charities and our nonprofits the best to our ability.
I'm so glad you mentioned volunteering, because I am curious, how can the community volunteer their time and their services to the commerce and to an event like this?
Well, I think the best way is to, reach out to us and see, what organizations are in need. But also, if they just Google nonprofit organizations, and if there's something that speaks to them, maybe they have a family member that unfortunately has Alzheimer's or is suffering from cancer, or from, maybe they have these grief issues, reaching out to these organizations and saying, how can I help? Maybe it's just stuffing envelopes. Maybe it's actually going out into different businesses and handing out brochures and talking about the organization and what they need. So there's all different ways. Maybe there's a canister that they can put in a business, especially during this time. We know we have, the bell ringers at the Salvation Army, et cetera, at some of the, larger, like a Walmart, et cetera. But maybe there's just a canister they can put in, that people don't even know that this organization exists. So I think it's really important during this time. Everyone can give back in a way that is appropriate for them, but certainly, thinking about your fellow human, about your fellow neighbor, about people that might not be talking about the things that they need because they're too embarrassed. There are organizations out there that can help you.
That's great to hear, and that's great to hear of everything that you're doing to help these organizations. And I want to go back to the actual party itself, the Not So White Elephant party that's taken place on December 3rd. You did mention the actual white elephant, or not so white elephant, thing that's going to be taking place. What other events will be there, or what other opportunities will be there for the community at this event?
Well, it's a great opportunity because we'll talk about some of our upcoming events, like our installation of Board of Officers that's coming up in January at Connect. And I find it really interesting because there are people that have never connected before. And I always tell people, bring business cards. You can bring your brochures. You can hand them out. And, connect with one another, because this is, a convivial occasion. People are more relaxed. So it's not like a high pressure situation where you have to talk about your business, but it's a really wonderful, relaxed event where people know that they're coming together for a great charity and, want to do business. It's like a very relaxed atmosphere. And what's so fun is, we sell raffle tickets, and when we call their number, they can pick any wrapped gift. So it's always interesting to see the psychology of how people decide to pick what gift they want. And then all the money just goes right to that charity that evening. So, and they can also, I believe the charity will also have a way to make an online donation. So it's just a really fun, relaxed time to celebrate that we all survived this year, that we're all here to support one another, because that's what the Chamber is all about, supporting our community and support one another. And really, the more that you can connect with another business and maybe promote them, I'm sure there are ways that we haven't even thought of, that two businesses can come together to support one another that doesn't cost them any money. Maybe it's just having business cards, in their business. Maybe it's having a canister. Maybe it's just having an event at their establishment. So, we're looking forward to 2025 and trying to do more of these really fun events where people can network and hopefully get business, from one another.
Suzanne, great to hear about all these incredible projects, and really interested to hear what's going to be coming up in the brand new year. One more quick question before I let you go. Where can people go to get a little bit more information about what to expect with this event?
Well, they can either go to our website, westbloomfieldchamber.com. They can contact me at wbloomfieldchamber@gmail.com. And I'm always happy to answer questions, 248-626-3636. And the interesting thing is, I'm not really sure why, but I guess when people Google West Bloomfield, we come up, and I do answer questions that are totally unrelated to the chamber. People ask me how to pay their taxes. I'd love to accept the money, but, so we're a great a source of information for people. If I don't have the answer, then I always try to direct them to a source that can. And thank you again for all that you do at Civic Center TV, covering these events, interviewing people to let the community know about all our great resources that we offer that unfortunately people are just unaware and they don't really know how to get the direction they need.
Well, thank you so much, Suzanne, and we appreciate everything that you do as well. Suzanne Levine with the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce, we thank you so much for your time today.
And thank you again.
Save the date for all you people watching at home. December 3rd is going to be the date for the Not So White Elephant holiday party. A great chance to get out, have some fun, and to do a lot of good for a lot of people. The last supermoon of 2024 will be making an appearance later this week with the astronomy hike, an incredible opportunity with the West Bloomfield Park Naturalists offering experience on the trails with telescope viewing courtesy of the Oakland Astronomy Club. You will have the chance to view the supermoon as well as getting sights of Saturn, Jupiter, and the Andromeda Galaxy. And here to tell us more about this event and the supermoon itself, we have one of the naturalists with WB Parks, Caitlin Stocker, and the president of the Oakland Astronomy Club, Gary Dietz. Thank you both so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
Glad to have you both with us, and really excited to hear about this great opportunity to check out the stars with this hike. So what inspired the creation of this astronomy hike, and how does it bring together nature and astronomy for the participants?
So this program is a two-part program. So one is a hike where we'll discuss some of the animals that are most active at nighttime. And then the astronomy club with Oakland Astronomy Club will come and discuss what can be seen with the telescopes. It's really nice to actually hit the trails and then get those two different perspectives on such a lovely feature, which is nighttime.
Absolutely. That is sure to be great, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of great sights when you're out there viewing in this experience. And for those attending the event, what do you think will be the most exciting part of viewing the night sky in West Bloomfield? Gary, what do you think?
Well, this is always a wonderful event that West Bloomfield puts on. And this time of year, it's a great time to be looking at things in the sky. As Caitlin mentioned, Saturn and Jupiter, and then Andromeda, which is the closest galaxy to our Milky Way, will also be visible. Again, assuming that we're going to have clear skies. But there's a number of other things that are visible in the sky. We always look at the big five things: a planet, a galaxy, a nebula, a star cluster, or a double star. And all of those kinds of things are going to be visible in the night on the 14th. And we hope to have some clear skies and be able to check some of those out for all of the attendees.
Yeah, that's going to be great for the attendees and a great opportunity to view a lot of these things. I mean, I remember when I was younger, some of my favorite memories were being with my grandfather and viewing space through his telescope. That was always so much fun and very enlightening for me, and I'm sure it will be for a lot of the guests at this event as well. And how do you prepare for leading a night hike like this? Are there some unique considerations that you have to take note of as opposed to a daytime hike?
So some of the things that we actually take into consideration are how much the trails are actually lit up from the moon. So sometimes we will use flashlights depending on visibility for safety reasons. And then other than that, just coming in with an open mind, ready to experience the full range of your senses.
Awesome. And are there any specific challenges in ensuring good visibility for stargazing, especially on the night of the hike, and especially as we get later into the fall season?
I'll try to handle that. Usually, the things that we try to look for are, ambient light coming from cars, parking lots, the city in general, and then, depending on what you want to look at, the moon is also, think of it as a big light bulb in the sky, and that will obscure a lot of the fainter deep sky objects that you might want to look at. So typically, if you want to look at deep sky objects, you'll try to find a new moon, or when there is very little moon out. If you're actually wanting to look at the moon, of course, which it will be visible on the 14th. So that's one of the things that we can actually look at that night too. But it will be obscuring some of the other things in the sky for sure.
But hey, that moon is sure to be the ultimate nightlight to help people, to help guide them on the hike and to help keep them in line. For those just joining us on the Splash Live, we have West Bloomfield Parks naturalist Caitlin Stocker and president of the Oakland Astronomy Club, Gary Dietz, here to tell us about the exciting astronomy hike that's going to be taking place to get a chance at the last supermoon of 2024. Now, Gary, I got another question for you. What role does the Oakland Astronomy Club play in events like this, and what are you hoping for the participants to take away from this experience?
Well, our role is of course, to kind of be somewhat of the experts on the night sky. We are a group of amateur astronomers, very knowledgeable and are astronomers. And honestly, what I always try to do is I want people to leave the evening and be able to go out in a subsequent evening and find a few of the objects that they looked at in the sky, either naked eye or with binoculars. Of course, with the telescopes, you'll have to have one of those to see some of the deep sky objects. But I always like to have people be able to identify constellations and some of the things that they saw in the sky. So they're going to remember and be able to maybe pass that on to somebody else at some point.
Great, yes. Always great to relay that information and to help get more people excited about the cosmos. Caitlin, in working on events like this and seeing how the community reacts to them, what are some of your favorite parts on working on events like this and seeing from the community firsthand?
So the nighttime programs are always some of the most magical for me. There's always some kind of excitement in the air, and you always get to see something unique. Every night hike, night program, we love having the Oakland Astronomy come out and share their expertise, and you can really see their passion, which is really nice. So that's what I really like about these night programs like this.
Awesome, and that's always great to see the excitement from those young minds of the West Bloomfield area. I got a couple more questions before we let you go. For those who may be new to stargazing or astronomy, what tips or guidance would you offer to make the most of an event like this?
What I would say is one of the things you don't want to bring is a flashlight, for instance. If you do, you want to have a red flashlight because that doesn't affect your night vision as much. But those are some of the things that are going to affect your ability to see some of the things in the sky. Secondly, I would say is learn some of the actual objects in the sky that help you. They're guiding areas of the sky that help you find things like a constellation, the Big Dipper, the Little Dipper, those kinds of things. So if you know a couple of primary key objects out there, that then is your guiding, almost like a roadmap to find everything else in the sky. But we love to help people learn, and that's always one of our favorite things to do is introduce people to the sky and how to find things in the sky, as they try and attempt to find things later on in the year or whatever.
And that's great for everything that you do to help inspire those young minds. One more question. What other seasonal events or activities might you recommend through West Bloomfield Parks or the Astronomy Club for residents who are interested in nature and the night sky and want to learn more?
Yes, we're actually hosting an event called Winter Solstice. It is on December 19th, and I believe that Gary and Oakland Astronomy Club will actually be there with telescopes as well. So it'll be a really fun time. There's different time slots to join starting at 5 p.m. And it's actually a great way to see the nice December skies.
Awesome. That is going to be so much fun for the people of West Bloomfield. Caitlin, Gary, I want to thank you both so much for joining us today and to tell us all about this really fun astronomy hike. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This is sure to be a great event for all of the astronomy lovers of the community to get a chance and take a look at this incredible supermoon. So big thank you to Caitlin and Gary for their time today in telling us all about this event. Lots of other great stories and events coming up right after the break. Live, local, social, it's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live. This is Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. On cable and the radio. On the web too, and on social media. Civic Center TV, television that's close to home.
I'm Gina Gregory, president of the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society. I'm excited that Civic Center TV has reached 1 million views on YouTube. Congratulations. That's just terrific. We appreciate everything Civic Center does for the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society and the community. For us, they promote and highlight our events. It's awesome to have them available 24/7 on YouTube. I'm Gina Gregory and proud to be one in a million.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
And now, back to The Splash, live.
Live, local, social, it's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm your host, Jake Sheff, going over all of the biggest news and topics from right here in Greater West Bloomfield. A powerful team was recently formed to help the community. This past month, Ariba Alam and her friends started an organization called TEAM, T-E-A-M, which stands for Together for Environmental Awareness and Management. This organization was made to promote cleanliness of the environment and to spread awareness of the dangers posed to its health. Here to tell us more is the founder herself, WBHS student and team founder Ariba Alam. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Really glad to have you with us and very interested in hearing about the TEAM program. I want to hear from you. How did this program get started?
So I was inspired because back home, my country in Pakistan, there's a lot of there's cleanliness problems, there's a lot of pollution in the air. So I was kind of inspired by that to start this organization and have people come together to spread awareness about it, because especially with global warming, it's a big problem nowadays. So the more we come together and the more we take action now, it'll benefit us the most in the future.
That's absolutely right, and that's great that you guys are making this effort to really promote cleanliness and keeping the environment clean. What have been some of your biggest projects so far with TEAM?
So we actually started last month, so we've only had one event so far. We worked with Bees and the D's. We went on October 15th, where they taught us how to harvest honey from honeycombs. And then we also learned about the roles that different bees play in their day-to-day lives. and it was really fun, very informational. And they also invited us to a bottling event, so we will hopefully be going to that too as well.
Interesting. Really, really interesting to see what you guys are planning to do. And I'm curious because you said that this is a new program. I want to know, like, maybe what you guys have planned. What are some of the things you want to do for the community going forward?
Yeah, so we're going to host cleanups at parks, and we're also going to do beach cleanups during the summertime. And on November 9th, we're going to the Detroit Zoo for their first Teen Conservation Summit. And there will be guest speakers there, and there's going to be group projects that we're going to be working on. And then we also plan on hosting team bondings because I know there's a lot of members that are joining, and we are still accepting members. But we plan on doing team bonding so that everyone can kind of get to know each other and be comfortable with each other. And then we're also going to have DIY videos of how to reuse material that will be coming out soon. And then we also have a research committee, and they research different topics. And we're going to also work with Oakland County Parks and do research for them and kind of look at endangered species and different dangers to the environment as well.
Wow, that is a lot of great things you guys have planned. You are keeping yourself very, very busy. So you talked about how this group is still accepting new members and that you're always trying to make the team even bigger. What has been the response from the team members so far, especially those who've been with you since day one?
Yeah, so we've actually gained a lot of support. We were on Live Laker Update for our school, and we've gained members since then. And the members that attended the Bees in the D event, the Honey Harvest, they loved the event. They had so much fun. It's this group it doesn't make us feel like it's a chore. Like it's truly a fun thing, and we're spreading good things to the community while having fun. Everyone's loving it. Everyone's trying to join. It's a really good. You guys should join.
Ariba Alam joins us right now on the Splash Live talking about the team program Together for Environmental Awareness and Management that has started with West Bloomfield High School and is continuing to expand. And everything I'm hearing so far is great. And you just talked about how you said that this doesn't feel like a chore, what you are doing. What are some of the biggest takeaways that you and the other members of the team are taking away from these events and these things that you're doing?
So one big thing is that it makes a difference, like one small thing, picking up the trash from when you see on the sidewalk, like throwing trash into the recycling or like in the designated bins. It really does make a difference. And it's really important that we don't just take our earth for granted because for now that's all we have. So it's really important to take care of it and not just kind of be lazy about what you do with the plastic. And there's a lot of other animals and other organisms that are being endangered, and soon that could get to us as well if we don't take action.
You are absolutely right. The time to take action is now. We only got one planet, and we got to keep it safe. Ariba, talk about a little bit about how you might be seeing team grow. Like, how big do you see this program growing throughout the community and beyond?
I mean, we've only started a month ago, and we already have about 50 members. So, I mean, it's expanding pretty rapidly. We hope to go to state levels, hopefully national levels. But for now, we are still in the local community, and we're trying to get people from other schools to also join in with us. But I have high hopes for this organization.
That's great. I'm glad to hear that confidence and that enthusiasm with a program like this. And have there been any other people who've served as like inspirations as to what you want to continue to do with team?
Yeah, so a lot of, especially since I mentioned from Pakistan, so Malala Yousafzai is a big inspiration because she advocates for women in education and women in power. So I kind of see her as an inspiration because there's really no gender to what you can do. It's all just like you take your you take what you can do and you bring it out to the community and hope for the best and for the good of all people and everyone.
Those are some great words, and absolutely, you hope for the best and you put your best foot forward and you make a difference. Ariba, one more question before I let you go. Where can people go if they want to learn more about TEAM and if they want to join?
They can visit our Instagram page. It's at team.org, which stands for Environment Organization, and our application is linked in the bio of that account. Or you guys can email our. It's at team.org@gmail.com, or you can text me at 248-870-9393.
That's absolutely right. And if you're looking on our screen at Civic Center TV, you can see that there is a form on our screen right now with a QR code. You can scan the QR code, and that will take you directly to the place where you can apply to become a TEAM member yourself. But a lot of great ways to join the program and a lot of great things to come from it. Ariba, we thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you so much.
Really fascinating to hear about all of the great things Ariba and the rest of the TEAM members have accomplished lately. Once again, thank her so much for her time and really interested to see what they do next. Close to home, now is your chance to spread some holiday joy with Toys for Tots. The West Bloomfield Fire Department is leading their 11th annual Toys for Tots drive, running now until December 16th, accepting new unwrapped toys and gifts. And just remember, no toy weapons are allowed in this donation. You can drop off your donations at Town Hall on Walnut Lake Road, Fire Station 1 on Orchard Lake Road, or Fire Station 5 on West Maple Road. If you have any questions, call the fire department's administrative line at 248-409-1505 to get more information and to know the proper way to drop off your donations. And there's going to be another great showcase of wooden toys with the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society. A family-friendly vintage wooden toys open house will be taking place at the Orchard Lake Museum on Sunday, December 8th. A chance to enjoy their vintage wooden toy collection along with other vintage toys this holiday season. Hands-on activities and engaging permanent exhibits which interpret local area culture and history. Put yourself in the shoes of children who would keep themselves entertained with these toys and these many games, and a chance for you to try them out for yourself. If you want to learn more information about this event, you can check it out on their Facebook page at GWBHS. That stands for Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society, to learn more about this showcase and about this event. Oakland County is asking you to help the environment by leaving the fallen leaves on your ground this autumn to help our wildlife and local pollinators. When leaves fall into our yards, they create a natural mulch, reducing weeds and fertilizing the soil. They also are a natural habitat for birds, turtles, frogs, insects, and all sorts of other creatures. Learn more about leaving leaves this season with USDA Leave the Leaves to learn more information, or you can check out our recent interview with West Bloomfield Water Resources Commissioner Jim Nash to learn more information about that as well. And a unique honey sommelier event will be taking place at Marshbank Park. A chance to discover the sweet world of honey tasting with an exclusive event right here at Marshbank. Join Bees in the D's on November 16th from 6 to 8:30 for an evening hosted by certified honey sommeliers from the American Honey Tasting Society. This 21 and over event features expertly curated honey selections paired with tasty accompaniments, small bites, and a honey-inspired non-alcoholic cocktail. Find out more on Facebook at WB Parks, or you can check out all the information on WBParks.org. But that is going to do it for us today right here on The Splash Live. I've been your host, Jake Schaff. Big thank you to Calvin Brown and Tyler Kieft at Master Control. That's going to do it for us today. Live, local, social. It's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.